Welcome back to Talking Story. My name is John Minton. Thanks so much for joining me here today. We have gotten to the end of another month and we are moving in to a new month. So let's just tie up a nice bow on July and steamroll into August. I just will go over very quickly what I wrapped up in July. I did read The Daughter of the Empire by Raymond E. Feist and Janie Wirtz, doing a buddy read with everybody over at the Library of Alexandria. And it was so awesome to revisit this, so nostalgic for me. I love these when they first came out. They hold up amazingly well. This was awesome. I think I'll probably cover this in depth when I've done the whole trilogy, which will be a couple months from now. But really enjoyed that. I got into Discworld for the first time, read book 1 of Terry Pratchett's Discworld, and this was such a great, hilarious, wacky palate cleanser between other things. I will most definitely be continuing on. I started Jonathan Marbury's apocalyptic telling of the zombie apocalypse. Now, again, after this, I'm going to get into his epic fantasy that takes place 50,000 years after the zombie apocalypse. Kagan the Damned, I think it's called. And everything with Marbury has been building up to that for me, so another step there. I started what is going to be one of my gotta be all-time favorite series, The Blade itself, the First Law Trilogy, Book 1. My review is up. This was amazing. I also wrapped up my month with Pierce Brown's Lightbringer. This review is also up. It was a gush fest. And I had a couple advanced reading copies, Mr. Magic by Kirsten White. And that comes out the 8th of August, and my full review is up of that. Is it worth putting on your October spooky read list? Check out the review. And also, I got an advanced reading copy of Jonathan Marbury's Cave 13. Now, this is the newest book in the Joe Ledger series, and I will have a full review of that coming very soon. And I think Jonathan Marbury captured all of the magic there. If you're a fan of the Dresden Files, I'm going to lay out a case when I do this full review of why this could be your new favorite series. And that wraps up my July. So that was, 7 books. Which is not bad. I had a great reading month. Ever since joining BookTube and taking recommendations from other people, I've had the most amazing reads, and that leads me to what I brought in to my personal library and my Fortress of Solitude through the month, and it is quite a bit for me, guys, and it's only because there's so many recommendations from so many great booktubers, and my reading has gone through the ceiling, so I just can't stop. Josh at Red Fury Books put this on his best of the best. I've never read Gimel. I had to get me a copy after seeing Josh at Red Fury Books rave about that. Andrew at Andrew's Wizardly Reads saw my vampire list and said, for his money, this is his great vampire book, The Lesser Dead by Christopher Buehlin. I immediately got this in. This is going to go on my October spooky read list, so stay tuned what I think of that. Daniel Green calls this the best book of the year so far that he's read. This is How You Lose the Time War by Max Gladstone and Amal E. Mothar. I can't wait to read this. Now, this is just my taste. I do not see anyone talk about the Mucho Mojo storyteller on BookTube. I'm talking about his own self, Joe R. Lansdale. I got his new book. I will cover it because if you have not been introduced to Joe Lansdale, it's time. I got to start getting into some self-pub, guys, and I have heard Mike rave and everyone else rave about some Ryan Cahill. I got to find out what it's all about, so I'm going to start with the beginning of these first 2 books. I got these in, The Fall and Of Blood and Fire. And also, Mike Shackle, I saw the interview on Mike's book review. This was not on my radar, but then listening to him talk, he's a comic geek, I'm a comic geek, I gotta read his work. So I found a bookseller in Oxford that would send this to me. I couldn't believe how cheap, so I couldn't say no. So We Are the Dead, book 1 by Mike Shackle, got that. And this, you know how I felt about the first book. I immediately had to order the second book, Before They Are Hanged by Joe Abercrombie, book 2. And I'm going to wait on that one. And, I just made a list of the comics I'm following. One had not come in. it has now come in. This is issue 1 from AWA Comics of Ribbon Queen. Now, this is by Garth Ennis. He is one of my favorite comics writer. He is a out of his head, mad Irishman, and I cannot wait. This is a horror comics. AWA will push every boundary in its way and let their just writers go as far as they want to go. Jason Burrows has worked with Garth Ennis before to amazing effect, and I cannot wait to get this whole series in my hand. So this is another comic series we're going to follow. This will be just full-on brutal horror. I don't know if you guys have heard of a writer called Brandon Sanderson, but I found a deal on this. Now, there's a book company that was going out of business, and this is book 4, and I didn't have book 4 on my stack to start reading Stormlight Archives, and they had a copy, a first edition of book 4 that was signed by Brandon Sanderson for a price that I could not say no to, and I'm eventually going to have all these on my shelf, I feel, because if this is anything like Mistborn or the other books that I've tasted so far, this is a must-have on my shelf. So I grabbed that. Now, in one of my last videos, if you're a subscriber, and if you're not, you should be, you know you voted on what my birthday read is going to be in September, and that birthday read winner was Bernard Cornwell's The Winter King. So I ordered in a nice hardcover UK copy. So in September, this is going to be in my stack because this has won. Second place went to Red Sister. Guys, it was pretty close, but Bernard Cornwell, Warlord Chronicles, absolutely won out. So this will be my September birthday read. I couldn't be more excited. Thank everybody for voting, and I think choosing extremely wisely. So, guys, what a haul. Are you kidding me? What am I going to be reading in August? I gotta pull a couple things over from my haul to make it complete, and it's going to look something like this for August. I'm gonna continue with the group read at Library of Alexandria. I have already started this book 2 in the Daughter of the Empire series by Raymond E. Feist and Janie Wirtz, and I can't wait to get further into this. So great, I'm enjoying it so much. I'm going to continue my First Law journey with Before They Are Hanged book 2, and then after that, guys, it is time for my Cosmere catch-up to bring out the Mac Daddies, the big-ass books. I'm going to start on the Stormlight Archives. So I don't know how fast this will read. We'll see. If I blow through this as quickly as I'm hoping, I've got a couple slim volumes on the back end of the month if I get to them. Now, if I get these 3 done with the heft on this Mac Daddy, I'll be happy. But if I blow through it and have time, I got some slim volumes. I've got the Siren Queen by Ning Vo, and this was just nominated for World Fantasy Best Novel, so it's been on my TBR for far too long, and I got to get to it. And I feel like after this much fantasy, I'll be ready for a little bit of a horror palate cleanser. And if I've got any time left, I'm going to jump on board to what Daniel Green says is the best book of the year so far and have a little bit of sci-fi to rinse all that fantasy out of my mouth with. So we'll see if I can get that done. If I can, I'll be pretty surprised, to be honest with you. But it all depends on this one right here. How quickly does it read? Guys, thank you so much for stopping by and going on my reading journey with me. It has been so amazing since joining BookTube and being a part of your reading journey. Like, subscribe, keep coming back to hang out. And if you do, I know you're book people. And in my book, that means you're the best people. So thanks so much for stopping by again. My name is John Minton. This has been Talking Story. Onward into August.